friends, thanks for joining me today. It's Maria Robinson, Stamping Simply with Maria. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up here in the United States. And in last Friday's Fun Fold card tutorial, I showed you how to make a barn door half fold card, right? So I promised you that we would come together on Tuesday again, which is February 21st, and we would actually make the card and make it look pretty. So here we are today. So let's get the camera turned down and we'll start making this card. Hang on a sec. So for today's card, I'm going to be using a couple of different designer series paper. One pack that I'm using is the Country Gingham, which is available in the mini catalog for a limited time. And it features 4 different colors. We have Petal Pink, Sweet Sorbet, and when you turn them over, we have Mint Macaron and Balmy Blue. Aren't they beautiful? They come in this gingham pattern and plaid pattern. I think they're so pretty. The other pack that we're going to be using is the 2022-2024 in colors, which are Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, and Starry Sky. This pack comes in with 20 sheets, and it's for each of the 5 colors. And aren't they pretty? They have this ombre look to them. So they start out light and then they go darker. And the really nice thing about this is, it's glimmer paper. So when you rub it, the glitter does not come off onto your hand. And I just love that because let me tell you, glitter, yeah, I seem to find it all over the place. I'm still finding pieces from Christmas. All right, and then we're also going to be featuring Share a Milkshake. This bundle is so cute. The reason I bought this bundle, other than its cuteness value, is that we own an ice cream store here in Goshen, New York, and I thought this was so cool for it and appropriate. I actually made my husband a Valentine's Day card using this particular stamp set, so it's really, really cute. And it also comes with the coordinating dies that you could purchase either separately or together. When you purchase them together, you can save 10%, so it's a great deal. You'll definitely get a lot of use out of them. I have been. The other stamp set I'm going to be featuring is called Covered in Sunshine. Again, this is really versatile. A couple of weeks ago, I had made a card using this particular stamp set here. Today, I'll be using this one here. It kind of reminded me of like a rainbow. But I'm also going to be doing that same technique that we did on this one, where we're doing the 3 different tones of colors. So I can't wait to show you that one. And next, I'm using, which is not available yet. So Stampin' Up is going to be having, I think it's maybe 4 online exclusives. This set happens to be one of them. So if you're saying, okay, if that's not available until March 1st, how do I get my hands on it? Well, as a demonstrator, we can order our, new products like this a month earlier before it goes live to everybody else. So if you want to get in the know, well, you got to join my team. And if you're interested, just give me a contact and I would be happy to get you started. So we'll be using I guess it's like a plaid pattern. I know it's hard to see. Let's see if I put a piece of cardstock in here. If you could see this better. Yeah, I think it does show up much better that way. So this is like a plaid pattern. Then we have these, I guess it's like a quatrefoil. Not sure. I know it's hard to see. And then we also have this dots folder, or it kind of reminds me of bubble wrap. So that's pretty cool too. And they're all 3D folders, so it really gives a nice impression on your cardstock. This comes in a set of 3 and it's $30. And again, this is not available yet. This will be available starting March 1st, but if you join my team, you could get it sooner. Last Friday, I showed you how to make this fun fold card. It's a barn door half fold card, right? And it was very basic. We just slapped on old cardstock and called it a day. I gave you the scoring information, the cutting information, and the scoring information. So I went to work to try to create a card for today, and I came up with this cute little card. But I was like, it's not really saying too much to me. I mean, I like the little cups of ice cream, but it just wasn't calling my name. Then I really went to work and I made this one. Now this is what I was really thinking of making when I first thought about this card idea. So isn't that cool? So this is what we'll be making. So let's set that aside here so I have that as a reference point. And let's go through the supplies that I have. So I have a piece of crumb cake. This is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. I have not scored it yet, but we will be scoring it at 4.25. And then I've gone ahead and prepared some of these pieces already. So I have a piece of basic white, which is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I've already adhered that to the Designer Series paper, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'll show you why. So to save paper, what I did is I cut out this part here, which I'll be needing it for the card front, the Designer Series paper. But rather than cutting a whole piece, I said, you know what? Nobody's going to see this anyway. So this is really a great paper saving trick here. So that's that. And I did the same with this piece now. You'll notice I have the hash, I don't know, it's like a meshy kind of thing behind here that I cut out from this Designer Series paper, which is a piece that came out of here. So you'll notice this fits in here well, it doesn't fit in here perfectly because we're going to cut this down. So this piece measured, where is my cheat sheet? That one is 3 1/4 by 4 inches. So this piece, once you cut it out of your Designer Series paper, you're going to cut it down again to 3 1/4 by 4 inches. And then the colored cardstock measures 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Right? Yeah, and that's going to be adhered to that. And then I have some pieces that I've die cut and stamped. I've already stamped the cup. And I'll show you how I did this. This is a two-step stamp. So I'll show you how I achieved that. This is the mesh that I cut out with the die. And then we have some hearts. And I cut the hearts and the cherries using the In Color glitter paper, or I think it might be called glimmer. I'm not sure if it's glitter or glimmer. So I'm going to put these back in here because I have a tendency to lose these little pieces and I don't want to lose them. We don't need these yet. And then lastly, I cut out a spoon from, it wasn't a foil piece of paper. I think it was like a glimmer piece. It might have been an old piece that I had. So I want to put this back in here. But that has a die cut that will cut that out. You can also stamp it if you choose and then die cut it. And then lastly, we're going to be, let me take these off actually. I have the straw and then the layering piece of the straw. So we'll be stamping that and die cutting that. And I don't have a block for that, so let me take one out of here. All right, so I'm going to put this aside here. Let me start by gluing this piece down to here. And this is the piece that I embossed with that plaid looking embossing folder. I hope that picks up on the camera, but somehow I don't think it is. All right, so let's add some glue to this. Now I'm not going to put glue in the center because obviously there's nothing in the center there. So just keeping to the edge. You know, just in case, I want my silicone craft sheet on here, under here, just in case I did get some on the center because I wasn't paying attention when I first started to put the glue on. And my silicone craft sheet, I love this, will pick up anything that I don't want on the paper. Yeah, so you could see where I got some on there. So good thing I put that there. All right, next, let's set that aside. We'll let that dry for a minute. Let's close up the glue. And let's score. And then we're going to cut the card base in crumb cake. So we've got our cutting blade out of the way. I want to score this at 4 1/4. So this is just scored it in half on the long side, the 8.5-inch side. And then I have my scoring blade down here, and we're just going to run it up and down a couple of times to give it a good score. Okay. Now what I want to do, keeping this in my trimmer, I want to cut down to the 2-inch mark. So just bring the blade down to 2 inches here. Then I will pull that out, turn it around, and cut down from 2 inches. Now we're on the short side, and I'll bring this down to 4 1/4. And we'll go upwards. And then you just take that piece out, save that for later. It's a nice scrap. And then we've got the barn door here. So let me line this up on the bottom here so we can make sure we, did I not? There we go. Now we should be even. Okay, so we're done with the paper trimmer. Get my bone folder and just give it a good burnish. Okay, so let's start by adhering this piece down to the front. And this card could be used for anything. It could be used for Valentine's Day, really for any occasion. Just depends on what stamp set you're using. All right, next I want to adhere the inside part of the card base. Again, we'll add some adhesive. And I'm looking for equal spacing all around. All right, that's good. I can close the glue. All right, now let's do some stamping. Don't know what is on here. It looks like there might be some glue on there. Just move this over a minute. Okay. If you're wondering what this eraser is, I got it on Amazon. It takes away, you know, like dry pieces of glue. It's really great. Not sure what it's called though. I call it a glue eraser. Maybe that's what it's called. All right, so let's stamp. Covered in Sunshine, and we're using the stamp that says, "I just can't tell you what a gift it is to call you my friend." I think that's so pretty. All right, so I'm going to put this, position this where I want it on here. I don't need this. Let's move these, keep those separate from each other. And I'm using my Stamparatus. This side here, a little cleaner. Now I'm going to put this in here upside down only because I needed to open the card base. And that's what's nice about this with the double hinge, is that you have two sides that are open. So let's close that back again. Position this on here so I know about where I want it to go. I'm looking for equal spacing on the left and right side, if you're wondering why I'm playing with it so much. There we go. Okay, so we're going to pick it up with the one plate. That. moved on me. And we'll open this up so it's nice and flat. Tack that down, and we'll tack this down. Actually, before I tack that down, let me just make sure because I think it moved on me. Still good. Okay. So we'll tack this down. Let's put something underneath here so it's got some stability. Now, when I showed this last time, I used the ink daubers. This stamp is a little bit different, as in, so I want 3 different shades here, and I want them going this way as opposed to up and down. So what I found is I can easily just ink up my stamp, you know, just right directly onto here. And the reason I'm using the Stamparatus is because this way, if I don't get it the color I want, I can always go back and add more. So we're just going to add a little color. I'm using Petal Pink, so I'm just tap, tap, tapping. That. And then next I will use Mint Macaron. I think this is Mint Macaron. Nope, I'm sorry, this is Soft Seafoam. And then we'll do the Soft Seafoam on this side. And then we will stamp down, pressing on those sides. Let's see if that's good enough. Oh, that came out good. Okay, good. So we can close these up. Next, I'm going to use the Sweet Sorbet. So when you're doing something like this where you're using a variety of colors, you'll always want to start with the lightest colors first, because then the dark will hide any imperfections. So I'm just using my Simply Chamois, which has water on it, as you know. Nothing crazy. Wiping that good. And I like to keep it in one of my stamp cases. Next, I'm going to take the Sweet Sorbet, and I'll do the same thing in the center. Now, you'll notice on my sample card, if I can grab it, there we go. You can see how the colors overlapped a little. And that's okay. I like that it's blending together. So I'm just going to take that and just, go down the center part. Just tap a little of it. Okay. And then we will press that down. See how that comes out. Perfect. And the E needs to be a little more. Good? I think it's good. Oh, yes, I did. I was like, did I stick my hand in there? I certainly did. All right. And I might be using my Stamparatus again, so I want to keep it fairly close by. I don't let my shepherd upstairs, but somehow her hair gets all over the place, even though she's not up here. All right, so here you go. We got the different variations of colors. All right, so next we're going to decorate the front. So I've got my cup already stamped. I just need to die cut it. And I do need to stamp the ice cream. And then we've got a little whipped cream. And then I also want to stamp the straw. So let's get a good sized piece of scrap paper. And maybe we could just stamp and die cut all at the same time. I think this should be good enough. All right, so I've got my ice cream, and then I do need the die for the whipped cream, as I am not going to be stamping that, and that is right here. I just want a little whipped cream on it. All right, so let's stamp this, my favorite flavor, early espresso. a little cushion under here. Got my Stampin' Pierce mat. Since these are photopolymer stamps, get a nice deep espresso color. Right. I'll stamp that. Just looks light in the center. Keep that there for a second. Let the color transfer. All right, let's try that now. Leaving a little space around the top and the sides. Press that down and lift up. Okay, good. Let me close this up. Next, I want to do my straw and soft sea foam. So I like to start with the detailed part first. In this case, it's the stripes. I'll put that right down. Again, dog hair. Oh, goodness. I don't know how this gets up here. All right, stamp that down. Good. Then we'll do the other side, but I do want to stamp off since I want the to be a little bit lighter. I'm doing that off camera. Let's take this off. And stamp over that. You can barely see that. You can barely see that. You know, let's do it in Sweet Sorbet. All right, let's try it in Sweet Sorbet. I bet this will look much prettier. Right, we'll do this down here. So, okay, good. So I don't lose that. And then we're going to stamp once, stamp off, and then stamp on again. There we go. You can also leave it white if you want to, no problem. You have options. Right, so we are done with that. We are done with this. I've got my die. I do need my die for the cup and the ice cream. What's nice about this little ice cream die cut is that you'll see this little, it almost looks like a cloud. You can probably use it as a cloud, but it's got this little piece here, which is actually going to die cut out of the ice cream part. And that's where you'll be able to put your spoon and or straw. And we'll be doing that. I think I just need this and then the straw. I think we can probably do this in the mini cut and emboss machine. Let's see. Let me tack these down with a little washi tape since there's more than one die going on here. I want to keep them in line and where I want it to cut. Now the trick with this machine I have found, the mini cut and emboss, is you kind of have to offset these plates a little. Otherwise it doesn't engage, and then you send it through. And then it cuts beautifully, just like the bigger cut and emboss machine. All right, so we have our straw, our dollop of whipped cream, and our ice cream. And you'll see there's like this little slit here where you'll be able to put the straw and the spoon inside. Let's set those aside here. And let's cut the cup out. And I use petal pink to stamp the cup. I can put that aside. I love that I can just keep that on my table. Very handy. I'm done with this. You know, let's put these pieces in my little metal bowl here so I don't lose them, especially the little ones. Okay, so now you have the cup cut out. All right, now it's time for the fun. Let's start putting this card together. So let me grab my silicone craft sheet here. And next what I want to do is I'm going to start adhering some pieces down. So I've got them right here. I've got my mesh pieces that I'm going to adhere first. And I want to keep these other little pieces in here. And just so I don't lose the whipped cream, let's put that in there along with these other pieces. All right, they're all safe. All right, so first what I want to do is put these pieces down. And I'm going to use the other side. I want to use the mint macaron side. And what I like to do is I have a sponge here that Stampin' Up used to sell these. They sold them in like, I don't know if I cut this down. I think I cut this down. It was like in a circle. I'm not sure what that is on there. Probably about this. And I cut it down into quarters. And for intricate dies such as this, sometimes what I like to do is I like to add adhesive to my craft mat, my silicone craft mat. That's why I feel this is such a great tool to have in your stamp room, crafting room, because it's great for things like this. Once I'm done with that, it'll dry up and I can just peel it right off. But for things like this, you just want to get that sponge and just dab on the glue, you know, rather than fighting with it and trying to get every little area. So just a fun tip for you there. You could probably use any sponge. It doesn't have to be one of these. Like even, you know, those little paintbrush sponges. They have the wooden handle and then the spongy part on top. I used to use those for, oh, I put that on the wrong side. Okay, never mind. So that's why I can't talk and craft at the same time. I wanted to use the mint macaron, but I used the wrong side. So, all right, no harm done. No harm done. It still looks fine, right? I think you could still see that on the petal pink. All right, so we're going to leave this here to dry. Next, let's build our ice cream sundae here, or shake, I guess, right? It's like a shake. All right, so we've got that. Let's get my whipped cream out. I need my whipped cream. I need a cherry and my spoon. All right, put the cherry here, and we'll put the spoon on here also. All right, so decide on where I want this to go, which is right about there, I think. And I'm going to add a little bead of glue just on the top here. Put that on my silicone craft sheet again. So I told you I didn't want it to go too far because I knew I would need it again. Just a thin bead here. And we can adhere our ice cream right on top there. All this talk about ice cream, I'm wanting ice cream now. And we've had these beautiful days lately where ice cream has actually been very nice. As I mentioned, we have a store in Goshen, New York, and normally it's closed during the winter, but since we've taken it over, we decided to leave it opened. And I tell you, people are just so happy about that. Let's add some glue. Let me put the spoon inside near the straw. Then we'll add a little bit of glue so it stays put. Put a little bit of the tape runner since I don't have any tape in here. I want that to stay put. Okay, we're going to pop this up on dimensionals, but before I do that, I want to add my whipped cream. And I want to add the whipped cream here, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue just over here. And we'll add the whipped cream. A little dollop will do you. Right. Like so. Then we'll add a little more glue again, and we will add our cherry on top. And about so. All right, and then we can put our dimensionals on the back of the sundae. And we'll add this to the top here. Want to center it side to side. Looks good there. Okay, we'll press that down. Then we will add our hearts here. I'll put this one on the cup. Just add a little glue. So now let's put the glue on here. Just a little dot right there. And we'll add a couple of dots over here for the other heart, the larger heart. This one over here. Now put the large one over here. That. Press that down just a second, and we'll add this one with dimensionals. I'm going to use these little pieces here. So let me know in the comments if you've been enjoying the series that I have on Fun Fold Fridays. If you have any ideas for new cards, that would be great too. I'd love to hear that. I think this piece might be just a little too big for here. And we'll add this to this side over here. Close this up. I think we are done. Let's see. Yeah, what do you think? Here's the original and the new one that we just did today. So let me know. Well, friends, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the card that I made, and I hope you give it a try as well. It certainly was fairly easy to make, and you can use any of the stamp sets and dies that you have on hand, although, you know, you got to admit, it looks adorable with the Share A Milkshake bundle and covered in sunshine. If you're interested in any of the products that I showed, there will be a link in the description under the video. You certainly can order from me. I would be most appreciative if you're not working with another demonstrator. If you have any questions, you can also find my contact information below the video in the description. Additionally, there will also be a link to the PDF for this particular card if I can figure out how to do that. It's all new, this technology stuff. If not, feel free to join my newsletter, which I will also include this free PDF and a link to this video. Until next time, guys, have a great day. Enjoy your week. Send out those beautiful cards that you make. Make someone happy. Take care. Bye now.